Thanks so much for being with us as we continue our series on the Geula, redemption. Let's sing a little bit about redemption. בשובך לציון ברחמים ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים אוי ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים אוי ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים לה 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 לי לה 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 לי לה 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 ever happens, I'm sure it happens to you all the time, that nigunim gets stuck in your head. And sometimes, or songs get stuck in your head. And you're not always happy with it, especially if it's a song that drives you crazy, or it's a song that doesn't make you feel uplifted. So it happened recently. My brother has a new nigun I heard maybe twice, and I can't get it out of my head. I'm not sure I'm singing it perfectly right, but I know it's a beautiful nigun. I never sang it before. And I think he just put it out this week or last week. Let's see how it goes. But it has to do with Geula, so that's why I wanted to sing it. I think I'm butchering it. Let me try it again. The only request I have is that if I really did shech this nigun right now, please don't tell them that I sang it. Okay, Chavre. L'chaim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nהיה b'dvaro. Here in Eretz Yisrael, we are semi-back to somewhat of a situation we were in a few months ago. And the unclarity in the air continues to prevail as to regarding how we're dealing with this virus. But to anybody that's been trying to seek for something a little bit deeper and to put their hand out for something a little bit deeper, everyone understands here. We're in the middle. We're still in the middle of the last stage before Mashiach. It's not even a complicated thing. Today I heard the head of the Sochnut is Yitzchak Herzog. He said that he's estimating approximately 240,000 olim coming to Eretz Yisrael this year. And all around me is just aliyah, aliyah, aliyah. The energy of coming back home. This morning I got so touched. Someone called me and said, started learning with you online, And I'm just getting so, as an Israeli woman, I'm just getting so excited from what you're sharing and what we're feeling and hearing. So I want to be part of whatever it is you're doing. So I always feel like saying, I also want to be part of whatever it is I'm doing. I myself don't really understand it yet, but it's something bigger than any of us. And she said to me, I am a licensed Ulpan teacher, and whoever you're going to be speaking to, I want to start teaching them Ulpan from the second that they say they're coming. Even if it takes months until they come, but they can get the process of learning Hebrew, having the process already start with an online Ulpan class. I got off the phone with this woman. I said, look at your children. Look how we're preparing. Look how we're preparing. It's unbelievable. 2 weeks ago, I'll tell you about it, even, I think I said this, I'm not sure. I got a text from someone I have no idea. According to the area code, it was a city that I've rarely been to in the United States as well. And the text was, listen, I saw a letter that you wrote in the Jewish press or the Jerusalem Post about Aliyah and how it's time to come home. And I just want you to know that I ended up probably saying things not so nice about you. And it kills me that I did that. So I'm just asking you for mechila, please. And that was like the beginning of a beautiful development of a relationship now. The gates for Geula are found in the Prat and in the Klal. And all you have to do is just, I would say open your eyes. No, probably not. All you have to do is close your eyes and open your heart. Opening your eyes to and seeing literally what's in front of you is perhaps not the most recommended thing. But it says brought down by Reb Simcha ben Pshischa, I believe, that the source of blessing in the Torah, the first time we find the father blessing his son, is when Yitzchak blesses Yaakov Avinu. And the first few words in that perek, in the chapter, in Parshat Todot, that describe that epic moment. That moment when Yitzchak Avinu gave over the brachas to Yaakov, and as our sages teach us, that's the reason you and I are still alive, because of those brachas. So the first few words in that perek are Vatichahena einav mirot, which means Yitzchak Avinu was blind. He couldn't see anymore. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as Reb Simcha ben Pshischa said, you see, like the Gemara says, Ein habracha shruya ela davar hasamui min ha'ayin. Brachas always have to do with things that are hidden from the eye. Meaning sometimes you just have to close your eyes and use your inner eye to look in order to feel and bring brachas into your life. And it seems like that's more or less the state that we're in right now. Perhaps it's the state that we've been in for a very long time. I don't know. It's unclear. And like we began learning last week, we tried to figure out what period in the big picture are we in. We began learning last week how to become professional map readers of Geula based on the Ramchal and the Gra. And we were learning how the Ramchal, specifically the Ramchal last week, a little bit of the Gra, but the Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Lutzato, was explaining to us that if you learn the map, you'll know where to walk to and where not to walk to. It's just a matter of learning certain concepts to figure out where we are. And we learned two concepts last week that are the premise for the whole picture of how we're building this inyan called Limud HaGeula, learning Geula. Because you are what you learn, and the more we're learning about something, then the more that we are feeling, not just assuming that things are happening, but we probably are feeling things that are happening. And the Ramchal brought down these two concepts called Pekida and Zechira. Pekida is the first level where Hashem says, I'm going to redeem you. You're going to be redeemed. I hear you. And right after Pekida, there's a very scary place because there's an amazing amount of concealment following the initial stage of Geula. Why? Who knows? This is the way the Ribbon Shalom wanted it to be. And only after that is Zechira. Is Hashem remembered you and ended up taking you out. The Ramchal showed us two different times in Jewish history when that happened. Pekida and Zechira, two different redemptions. One was obviously Yetziat Mitzrayim. There was a Pekida that took place while we were still in Egypt. And then there was a Zechira where we came out. But there was a lot of darkness in between the Pekida and Zechira. Then he brought us to the second time, which was Hatzarat Koresh. It was Cyrus's proclamation in the times of Shushan Abira, that us Yidden, us Am Yisrael, we can go back to Eretz Yisrael and build the second Beis HaMikdash. And what ended up happening after that was that he took back his proclamation of that, and things got really, really bad between the Pekida and Zechira there, the story of the decree of Haman on Yidden. So things got really bad, and then, Baruch Hashem, we went back to Eretz Yisrael. Not everyone, we went back and we built the second Beis HaMikdash. So the question we asked just a minute ago is, what is the Ribbon Shalom doing? What's his business with us in between the Pekida and the Zechira? What is Hashem trying to draw out of us? Let's go even further. Some say that this period called Zechira is the period between Pekida and Zechira of the previous Geulas and the one that we're in now is cruel. Why is it so cruel? Because you almost want to say, Ribbon Shalom, if you're not going to come and redeem me right now, I don't want those miracles of 1948 and 1967. It's too painful. It's too cruel. I don't want those huge moments of revelation only to be followed by a complete concealment, leaving us in that place of suffix and wondering, was that even real? Because that place is could be so cruel. Or we can dig deep into our hearts with confidence, with emunah and bitachon, and realize that what's lying here in this in-between period, that's not yet Geula, but it's definitely not Galut like it used to be, lies a tremendously important secret. It's not such a secret, it's the second that you taste it, you realize it's offered to the whole world. So tonight we're going to attempt to go inside and see what is really available for us during this time that we're still in Galut, but not really, and kind of on our way to Geula, but not really. The time that's between the Pekida and the Zechira. Because once the Zechira comes, once Mashiach comes, and the lights are on, then what we're going to be talking about tonight is not available anymore. So let's look back in Parshat Shmot as we try to retrace our steps and learn about the Geula of Mitzrayim. We have to look at the last pasuk in Perek Bet, the last few psukim in Perek Bet, and the first few psukim in Perek Gimel in Sefer Shmot. As the Ramchal and the Gra both taught us, you want to learn about how the eventual redemption will take place. We'll go and look at what was. So the last few psukim in Parshat Shmot, in Perek Bet, in Parshat Shmot, I say like this: Vayehi bayamim harabim hahem, vayamot melech Mitzrayim, vaye'anchu bnei Yisrael min ha'avoda, vatal shavatam el Elokim min ha'avoda. The Torah tells us it was in those days, and the king of Egypt had died, and we gave an anacha. Finally, we gave you know what anacha is? It's a krechts. We gave such a krechts up to Shemaim. Vayizaku, we screamed out, we belted out such a roar. Batal shavatam el Elokim, that roar went up, that plea went up to Hashem, and it was mina avodah. They felt like maybe is there room to breathe here from this hard labor now that this evil king has died? Vayishma Elokim et naakatam, vayiskor Elokim et berito et Avraham et Yitzchak et Yaakov. Hashem heard, and he remembered the brit that he did with Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And then it says, Vayar Elokim et bnei Yisrael, vayeda Elokim. And Elokim, God saw us, and God knew us. There was a moment of meeting each other in a very special way, in quite an intimate way. And this is so important for the rest of this evening's learning. But the next pasuk, right after this, Chazal, the Ramchal, refers to what we just learned as Pekida. This is Hashem saying, I heard you. I got it under control. It's going to be okay. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to start to pull the strings. The next pasuk is, Umoshe haya ro'eh et son yitro chotno kohen Midian. And Moshe was shepherding the flock of his father-in-law Yitro, the Kohen, the Midianite priest. Vayinhaeg et atzon achar midbar, vayavo el hara Elohim choreva. And he was taking the sheep into the desert until he reached a place called Hara Elohim Choreva, Chorev, also known as the place where the burning bush was, also known as, I can't hear it, no, I'm kidding, I'm messing with you, also known as Har Sinai. That's where the revelation of the burning bush was, and that's where the Torah was given. That's how Hashem begins to prepare the Geula, which eventually happens full on in Parshat Beshalach. Now, let's go into the Ramchal. The Ramchal in Ma'amar Geula, this is the third chapter, he continues to develop so beautifully what it looked like, what the process of redemption was back then. And we're going to see how it's so relevant to our times. Ve'od, you see over here in the third paragraph, Ve'od pe'ula acheret nimtza lapkida, ve'ze nir'a b'pasuk beGeulat Mitzrayim. Another pasuk explaining to us how pekida works. Remember, pekida, the first level, the first shlav in the process of Geula. It says, it's seen in the pasuk in Geulas Mitzrayim, shemiyad achar vayeda Elokim, right after it says, God knew us. And you know in the Torah, quite often when the word da'at is used, it refers to hitkashrut, connection, like v'ha'adam yada et chava ishto, and Adam knew his wife Eve. That alluded to intimacy, to closeness. So over here it says, right after it says vayeda Elokim, that God knew us, He knew what we needed. Ksiv u'Moshe haya ro'eh. Right afterward it says, and there was a shepherd, and his name was Moshe. And understand clearly, the Ramchal says, Ki mizman hapkida hitchila ha'atara lihibanot lamashiach. From the moment of the pkida, from the moment of Vayeda Elokim, God is preparing the crown for Mashiach. The atara, how would you say atara? If you know it, you could type it into the chat if the chat's open. Some words as you see, I'm still struggling with, as someone who spent so many time in two continents. From this moment that Moshe Rabbeinu was mentioned over here as a shepherd, Hashem is like, and now I'm continuing to prepare what the Geula is all about, the atara for Mashiach. Ubetoch hazman bein hapkida lazchira. Now, in between this time, between the time of Pekida to Zechira, I know we sound very repetitive, but Reb Nachman also in his Torah is so repetitive when you're trying to drill a point home, because it's so important and crucial that certain things are understood already right now. So over here he says again that in this time between Pekida and Zechira, Ha'ish asher lo mishpata geula lig'ol, Ra'ui lihitaken uliyot nachon lema'aseu. The person who is on the path to being redeemed. Thank you, mommy or Abba, whoever wrote that right now. Coronation, the atara is coronation. Thank you. So he continues and he says, in this time between Pekida and Zechira, the person who has the mishpat geula lig'ol, that should be redeemed, Ra'ui lihitaken uliyot nachon lema'aseu. It's in this period. It's time, it's cleansing time, it's preparation time. It's time to fix your soul. It's time to set up shop. It's time to take care of things that maybe you just pushed off. And during this time, a person will go up to levels that they never experienced before. Why? God will also coronate you. Meaning, the person that is supposed to be redeeming, the leader that's supposed to be redeeming, he receives Workshop 101 of Jewish leadership. Back in the time of the first Geula, it was Moshe Rabbeinu. It was clear. In the second Geula, which took place in Shushan, Hadar Kibua b'mei Achashverosh, our leader, was Mordechai HaYehudi. It was clear. Now this concept, the generation that you and I are in, and I don't mean to offend anybody because it's as if I'm offending myself. Who is the Moshe Rabbeinu that's alive today? Who is the Mordechai HaYehudi that's alive today? I'm sure quite often you've heard the phrase that this generation, it's about all of us becoming Rebbes. What does that even mean? Does it mean that each of us have to have a flock? Or does it mean that each of us has to meet God on Har Sinai and a burning bush? And it can mean a million other things. We're going to try to understand what it means right now. So therefore, the Ramchal continues and he says in the next line, "V'lachen k'tiv u'Moshe haya ro'eh." Moshe Rabbeinu was shepherding. This is the pasuk that's brought after the Pekida. Ki ken haya nitaken v'holech ad shehigia hazman ve'amad bechorev ve'kibel sham mitzvat ha'geula. What mitzvah did Moshe Rabbeinu get at the burning bush? He got the commandment of Geula. I will take these kids out, and you're going to be my messenger to share my words and my promise with them. The Ramchal says that's what we're busy doing between Pekida and Zechira. Not everyone merits to hear the Pekida. Not everyone. In generations before us, it wasn't everyone. It was specific leaders that heard certain potential Pekidas. However, today, who's hearing it? I mean, we don't need Hasidic tales from 200 years ago to see that it's really the shoe shiners and it's the water carriers and the schleppers that are so in tune and preparing themselves for the coronation. And then right after that happens, there's always this tremendously big Masach HaMavdil, a dividing screen. Now the question is, why? Why does it have to get so dark if God is busy preparing and grooming the future Redeemer? Why does it have to get so dark? And as he continues here, look at the next paragraph. בשעה שיצאו ישראל בגלות נפרס מסך גדול ומחיצה רעה ביניהם ובין אביהם שבשמיים. From the moment that we went out into Galut, a tremendously large mechitza, a bad mechitza, was placed between us and our Father in heaven. But mipnei rachmei Hashem abore baruch hu, shu merachem et Yisrael, but due to Hashem's rachmanis that He has on us, nisgaber or hakdusha, uvaka et hamechitza hazot bekiyot rabot. The light of holiness has become strong, and it has hatched, it has cracked holes in the mechitza, many different holes. Bekiah literally means to hatch. Nimtzeu bekiot ha'ele kmo chalonot. And then these holes in the dividing wall are like, suddenly become like windows. Kmo charakim ptuchim b'mechitza hazot. Like these open cracks in the mechitza. אבל הפתח הגדול שהיה פתוח בראשונה לא היה פתוח אחרי כן. However, the real big petach that was open in the first Geula, or the second Geula, that one is closed. It's not as large as the opening that we felt during times of Pekida leading to Zechira. Now you and I today, we can't say that since maybe 1967, that there's been this tremendous complete removal of concealment. And 1967 was a long time ago already. It's over 50 years. It's 53 years ago, 1967. So what access of light are we really connecting to? It's not major doors that are opening, but it's chalanot. It's between the cracks. Light, that holiness of light that comes in between the cracks. It's each and every one of us. that doesn't give up day after day, and that is determined to be a Jew that celebrates their Yiddishkeit b'simcha, b'pnimius, b'ahavas Yisrael, with such love for each other. Yidden that won't give up, they're poking holes in that wall. Again, it's not cracking down walls, but it's creating enough space to form windows of light. So he goes here now to Shir Hashirim, and he says, Vehine, third from bottom paragraph, Vehine al ele habekiyot ne'emar, mashgiach min hachalonot metzitz min hacharakim. This is from Shir Hashirim. My lover, he's mashgiach min hachalonot, he's looking, hovering over me from the windows. Metzitz, he's peeking from between the cracks. Biyot hamelech ha'elyon chafetz begulat Yisrael, and when the king, the supernal king, desires the Geula of Am Yisrael, Shlomo HaMelech says in Shir Hashirim, Dodi shalach yadom min achor. It says, my beloved sent his hand through the hole, not through a petach. Ki petach lo niftach ad hayom hahu. Rak derech hachorim hu sholach et yado. The Ramchal says something so beautifully. In Song of Songs, in Shir Hashirim, when it says Dodi shalach yadom min achor, it says you wanna feel the love. You wanna feel the love. It's there. It's right now not available like on a Geula, full-on Geula level, but you wanna feel the love. Dodi shalach yadom min achor, my beloved sends his arm through the hole. Allow the light of Kedusha that already exists in you to just be. Stop fighting it. Stop trying to deny it. Stop denying your own Kedusha. Allow it to be. Just allow it to be. And the Ramchal says when there's a hitgabrut of Orshe B'Kedusha, when you just allow yourself to be, that chelik elokei to just be and stop doubting yourself every single second, it cracks a hole through the wall. And through that hole, the Ribono Shel Olam sends his arm through it. And the Ramchal continues and he says, Umahu yado, which hand? Yad Yamin. Ela yad hayamin. Why the right hand? Hanhagas hachesed ve'aras hapanim. Hi shenistera betoch hachek miyom hachurban. He's saying from the day of the Churban Habayit, you know what it means when we say that there's been concealment? What's been concealed? That God runs the world with chesed. It's true, it's been concealed. When you think of the millions of Jewish people that were murdered and slaughtered al Kiddush Hashem, and the thousands of years of being completely a complete disgrace in the eyes of the world, you have to be a complete idiot to interpret that as God's loving kindness. What's concealed? That there is loving kindness there, but don't pretend that you actually feel that and see that. Parents having to bury children, all types of horrific things that people have to, that's concealment. From the time of the Churban, there's concealment, but when are the moments where I actually push away a little bit of that concealment of chesed, and I'm zoche to feel a hand through a wall, reach out to me and say, hey, come, I'm so thankful you cracked the hole open in the wall. Come, take my hand. When you just allow the kedusha that's imminent, that's naturally you to just be you. You crack the hole open in the wall, and that is so important. It's so important to remember that there's so many holes in the wall. By now, there's so many holes in the wall. And like Reb Nosson Breslovitz says in Avanei Barzel, all that it's really going to take now is like a final knock on the wall to break down the wall that's guarding the fortress and to conquer the city, to conquer the Kedusha, because we've been pounding on that wall for so many years. We've been pounding on it. It's never been about one person. It's been about all of us, pounding on it, hole after hole in the crack after crack in this wall of mechitzas. So he continues over here on the bottom. And he says like this, to answer our first question in the beginning. So what's the avoda? How do I allow myself to let myself be? How can I be that person that mamish makes windows in mechitzas? Because that's what we have to do during the times of concealment. That's what we basically have to do even now, when there's already been another pekida, but there's no zechira yet. I think I think Am Yisrael starting to come home must be the pekida. They don't have to call it Reishi Tzmichas Gulatenu, but you can't deny it. So the Ramchal says like this: Menimtza shezez man harishon hapekida haya b'Mitzrayim le'it shekatuv bo vayar Elokim et bnei Yisrael. So, like we saw in the Geula of Mitzrayim, where it says that God saw us, that was the pekida. But what name of God is used right afterwards? Ubet pe'amim Elokim niskeru kan. Look at the top pasuk that we learned, the third pasuk that we learned, pasuk Chafei. It says, Vayar Elokim et bnei Yisrael, Vayeda Elokim. What do we know about the name Elokim? What attribute is it? That's the attribute of din. Yud Kei Vav Kei is Rachamim. Bereishis bara Elokim, Allah b'machshavto livroat olam badin. Din, judgment. So the Ramchal points out that right after the first Pekida took place, there's twice the name of Elokim is here. V'aimet, ki harishon hu Shem haBorei Baruch hu. V'lama kra'o Shem Elokim, ela mipnei she'adayin hayu ha'meorot mele'im gvura ve'lo rachamim. God said, I'm going to take you out. But the manner in which he would take us out, if it was just then and there was no middle time, would have been through heavy gvura, through heavy din. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe it could mean that you'd have to suffer a lot more till the light came out. Or maybe that not everyone could come out. Maybe Geula wasn't going to be for everybody. And I'm under the assumption now, although I got a little bit confused this last round of Corona, but I thought that in this future redemption, maybe just because of the Avram Fried song, no Jew will be left behind. That's what I thought. But maybe it means that the Geula will be like the Gevura of the only 1/5, leaving Mitzrayim. I don't know. Maybe that's what that Gevura is. But he's saying over here is that there was Pekida, there was a light of Geula in the world. But the Geula was with Gevura. It's like, sometimes we know that when we have an opportunity to educate our children, to machanech them, and we have a really great parable, we have a fantastic mashal that can really drill home a lesson for them. But what? That mashal is filled with an energy of gevura. When we take a pause and breathe in for a second and say, wait a second, if I could give over the same thing to them through chesed and rachamim, I'd rather do that. I'd rather give over to my children through chesed and rachamim than din. Bottom paragraph, Umoshe ya'an yada she'adayin lo haya azman l'schira vadai. So Moshe Rabbeinu sees, okay, I believe there was a Pekida, but I'm looking at the people that you're talking about, God. It doesn't look like we're ready for Zechira over here. It's not, the Geula is not, it's not ready yet. Therefore, the Ramchal says, Al ken haya mema'en lalechet. Therefore, he was very hesitant to go and fulfill the shlichus. Like, remember, God has to convince Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? He says, V'amar v'hen lo ya'aminu li. They're not going to believe me because they're not ripe yet. They're not pruned yet. They're not ready yet for the full thing. They finally kvetched and let out a shray. They're not even aware that it reached you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you said, okay, I hear you. I'm going to take care of business. They're not ready yet. They're not going to believe me when I tell them, get ready, pack your bags. But then, the Ramchal says, Ve'az, Heshivo HaBorech Baruch Hu. Then God answered him, This is the sign that I have sent you. And then he starts giving him all these signs. בו הזכירה קודמת לפקידה, לא היה נשלח. It's a little bit difficult. We'll try to explain it here. In the higher worlds, in the upper worlds, Zechira can come before Pekida. Because it's kind of like Nase v'Nishma. When we said Nase v'Nishma, remember what the Gemara says. The angels wondered, God wondered, Mi gila lebanai raz zeh shemalochi asheres mishtamshim bo. When we said Nase v'Nishma, we're basically saying Geula. We're choosing full-on Geula, and then we're going to understand what it means to be redeemed. So, in a perfect world, in a fixed world, full-on Geula can come before the partial Geula, the proclamation of it. It could be like a Nasa v'Nishma Geula. But here it wasn't like that. You know why? Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't have been sent. There would have been no need for Moshe Rabbeinu. If right away there would have been Zechira, Mamash, at the get-go. We wouldn't have Moshe Rabbeinu, we wouldn't have a shepherd, we wouldn't know what it's like to have leaders, we wouldn't know what it's like to have students. We wouldn't know what it's like to have patience for people. We wouldn't know what it's like to listen to people when they cry. This period that we're in, between Pekida and Zechira, he ends off here, God doesn't just want to turn on the love button. God gives us this time for us to techpatz, to desire love. You know what happens to a person when they realize that what they really, really want from life, from God, from themselves, is to love and to be loved? That's Geula. That's the Geula of the Prat. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you for obviously being with us, but also just the correspondences and the letters and the emails and the texts, which every one of them is so precious to me. Every single one of them. Early this morning, I woke up very early this morning. I woke up to a letter from a friend. Actually, a friend I never met before, but someone who through the online learning I feel close to. Wrote me a beautiful note, and he shared with me a nigun that he composed when he was asking Hashem to please never remove Hashem's love for this person. And he said to me, I could barely get through the recording, you'll hear it. Maybe one day I'll record it, and he says, and open for you. And it's clear to me that if there's any ounce of emes in this world, people would be begging to open for this guy. And he sent me a nigun that pierced my heart open. And then he goes into the most powerful chorus I've heard in a long time, over and over again, and forever, please, Ribbon Shleilim, please, through every Pekida until the Zechira, do not remove love, do not remove the ability to love, do not remove the possibility of feeling loved. Al taseh mimenu le'olamim, forever, ever, don't remove it. It seems to me that what the Ramchal is ending off of here by saying is that thank God it wasn't a Nasa v'Nishma situation with the Geula. Because all these gifts that you learn, all these gifts that you're able to collect while desiring love is something that once you taste it, there's no money in the world that someone would give you in order for that feeling to be taken away from you. This, for some reason, is still the avoda right now, because it's kind of clear that on the love level between Am Yisrael, Anachnu Adayin Lo Shama. We're not there yet. So many misconceptions about love. And in fact, people that really did love, the world doesn't have kelim for them. The world can't believe that certain people were actually able to really love. And today we live in a society that is so scared and threatened, for whatever the reasons are, from just tearing down I'm not talking about physical machitzas, but tearing down machitzas between people and just talking about love. And I'm so proud of my chevra here in Efrat. Some of the chevra asked me for something that blessed me with the guts to do. They said well, I don't know about now, because now they just lowered the number of people in shul to 19. But I said during this period would be a perfect time if we can go into like a Kabbalat Shabbat. There's different tefillas that is just like explanatory, even though we kiviyachol understand Hebrew. But sometimes just taking a little bit more time with the psukim in Kabbalat Shabbat and speaking about this love and interaction that happens in Kabbalat Shabbat between Knesset Israel and the Ribono Shlem. Chaverim v'chaverot, can you imagine if the next time they allow us to go back to shul, all of us go back to shul, determined to write love letters to God before we go to shul, and then we write a love letter. That's the t'nai to come back to shul. That's the condition. I'm writing a love letter to my beloved because I feel dodi shalach yado min achor. I'm writing a love letter. Wow. I think there'll be enough holes in that wall. We take enough advantage of this ache techpatz, this desire mode, and Bezrat Hashem, once and for all, crack down that wall that comes down, the final mechitza that stands between us and our Creator. And then hopefully all of us, each and every one of us, won't have to really work hard on feeling love or loved, because it'll be as clear as the other, whatever else is clear to you, like the fact that you're breathing, hence you're alive. I love, hence I'm alive. That's really what it is. So Hashem should give us the please HaKadosh Baruch Hu, grace us with the courage to love, with the desire to learn from people who love, and to abolish any sinas chinam me'aleinu u'me'al kol bnei brisecha. Good night and good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. What a privilege to learn the Torah of the Ramchal with you all. I'm looking forward to so much more.
עודדת אותי, אני תודה. תודה, תודה על עומרי ברבבות פעמים שעזרת לי, תמכת בי, הושעת אותי, הצלת אותי, שימחת אותי, ריבאת אותי, שמרת עליי, הודעת אותי, אני תודה. שעזרת לי, תמכת בי, הושעת אותי, הצלת אותי, שימחת אותי, ריבאת אותי, שמרת עליי, הודעת